Most men flirt to get something: attention, approval, a number. But the men women remember, they flirt for one reason: because it's fun. They're calm, playful, unbothered. They don't try to prove anything. And that's why women chase them. If you've ever felt like you're trying too hard, saying too much, or getting ignored after doing everything right, this video will change everything. Flirting like a playboy isn't about being fake. It's about learning how stoic confidence mixed with playful tension creates something unforgettable. Number 1. Playboys don't flirt for results. They flirt for fun. Most men flirt with a goal in mind. They want the number. They want the date. They want the outcome. So they enter every conversation with invisible pressure, not just on the woman, but on themselves. And that pressure is felt. It makes the interaction heavy, transactional, forced. Because when you're focused on getting something, you stop enjoying the process. And that's when your energy becomes unattractive. Playboys are different. They flirt without attachment. They flirt because they enjoy the moment, not because they need something from it. Their presence is light, playful, and unbothered. Not because they're careless, but because they've trained themselves to enjoy the act of connection, not just the reward. That's the shift. When you remove the need for results, you remove the fear of failure. You're no longer trying to impress, you're just expressing. And when you're expressing without attachment, you become more authentic, more relaxed, and more fun to be around. Women can sense this difference instantly. The man who flirts for results carries anxiety. His jokes are rehearsed, his compliments are transactional, his body language is tight. She can feel he's trying to win something. But the man who flirts for fun? His words flow. His energy is clean. His interest is clear but not needy. That kind of presence is addictive. When you flirt for fun, every interaction becomes practice, not performance. You're not testing her. You're exploring with her. You're not pushing for a win. You're building connection without pressure. That's where real charm is born. It's not found in the result. It's found in the rhythm. So how do you shift into this energy? Start with your mindset before the conversation begins. Remind yourself, I don't need anything from this. I'm here to enjoy myself. That one frame dissolves nervousness. It relaxes your tone. It makes your body more fluid. And women feel that. When she sees that you're unaffected by her reactions, when she notices that your mood doesn't shift based on whether she laughs or agrees, you instantly rise above most men. You're not trying to sell yourself. You're not adjusting based on her approval. You're simply being. And that being is what draws her in. You also become more playful because you're not censoring everything to keep her interested. You're saying what you think, teasing her ideas, taking small social risks, not to provoke her, but to see where the energy goes. You're dancing, not debating. You're co-creating tension, not negotiating approval. And when you detach from results, you flirt more often. You smile at strangers. You joke with waitresses. You tease a friend's sister. Not because you're trying to sleep with everyone, but because that flirt energy becomes your natural state. You become socially warm and emotionally light. That's charisma. This also means you'll bounce back faster. If the conversation dies, you don't spiral. If she's not receptive, you don't take it personally. Because you weren't in it for the win, you were in it for the moment. That's a superpower. And it's why confident men are often the most relaxed ones in the room. Their confidence isn't in the result. It's in their ability to enjoy the game, no matter how it ends. So next time you flirt, ask yourself, am I trying to get something? Or am I giving off the energy of a man who's already full? When you lead with enjoyment, not strategy, you unlock the playful freedom that turns ordinary interactions into unforgettable moments. Playboys don't flirt to collect trophies. They flirt because they understand this. The man who enjoys the moment the most is the most attractive man in the room. Number 2, premise. Premise is one of the most powerful elements in advanced flirtation, and it's one most men don't even know exists. The premise is the unspoken assumption behind your words. It's the frame, the vibe, the story your interaction is based on. While most men simply react to what's said, charismatic men, especially the so-called playboys, operate from a clear, confident premise from the start. So what does that mean in real life? It means that before you even speak, your energy already assumes something about the interaction. For example, if you walk up to a woman and your premise is, "I hope she likes me," then everything you say will reflect that. Your body language, your tone, your words, they'll all signal neediness, whether you realize it or not. But if your premise is, "Of course she's going to like this, because I enjoy myself first," then everything changes. You'll be more relaxed, more playful, more assertive, without forcing anything. Your flirtation won't be a performance. It will be a shared experience based on your energy, not her reaction. A strong premise is about starting with belief. Not belief in the outcome, but belief in your value, in your perspective, in the way you move through the world. A man with a confident premise walks into the interaction already seeing it as fun, light, and mutually valuable. That's what women feel instantly. Not just what you say, but what your presence implies. Let's get practical. If your premise is, "I like teasing interesting women," then your behavior naturally builds flirtation. You'll make observations, ask bold questions, and use tone to challenge her. If your premise is, "We're clearly going to have fun," then you'll speak with ease, you'll joke, and you'll flirt without fear. That premise shapes the frame, and that frame controls how she responds. Most men enter the interaction hoping something good will happen. Playboys walk in assuming it already has. That's not arrogance, that's leadership, that's energy, that's confidence without a script. Here's how you build your own premise in practice. Choose a frame you enjoy. For example, "She's cute, but let's see if she's sharp." Or, "We're probably going to flirt and make each other laugh." That frame isn't about ego, it's about mood. Let that premise shape your tone. Don't force words. Let your voice reflect ease, certainty, and interest without pressure. If she resists, don't drop the premise. Deepen it. If she pushes back, tease her. If she challenges your assumption, play along. That's where chemistry lives. Premise also allows you to lead the emotional direction. If she's shy, your playful premise can draw her out. If she's loud, your grounded premise can calm her energy. You're not controlling her, you're inviting her into your story. And when your story is more fun, more centered, and more alive than what she's used to, she'll stay. It's important to remember, every man is already operating with a premise. It just might be a weak one. I hope this works. She's out of my league. I'm not good at flirting. Those are all premises too, and they're dangerous because they become self-fulfilling. But when you walk in thinking, "Of course this is going to be interesting," or "Let's see what kind of mischief we can create," you give the interaction permission to become something exciting. And she will feel it. She might not name it, but she'll sense it. That's how the most confident men draw women in without trying too hard. They lead the energy by standing in a strong, unshakable premise. It's also how they recover from awkward moments. If the conversation dips or a joke doesn't land, their premise doesn't break. They don't need every second to be perfect, because their underlying frame is, "This is going somewhere good." That keeps the vibe alive. That's what women remember. Premise gives your flirtation direction. Without it, you're reacting. With it, you're writing the script. And when you write the script, she gets pulled into a story that feels smoother, stronger, and sexier than anything she's experienced from the average man. So choose your premise. Let it shape your vibe. Build every flirtation on top of that. And you'll find that the more you lead with emotional certainty, the more you'll attract women who want to follow your lead. Number 3. How to come up with flirting lines. A common question men ask is, what do I say when I want to flirt? But behind that question is a deeper problem. They think flirting is about memorizing lines. It's not. Flirting is a living interaction. It's spontaneous. It breathes. And the most magnetic flirting lines are not memorized. They're observed, then created in the moment. Flirtation starts with observation. You don't need cleverness. You need awareness. Look at what she's wearing, how she speaks, what she reacts to. The best flirting lines are built from what's happening right in front of you. If she's wearing sneakers with a dress, say, "So you're one of those rebels who dresses like she might run from the scene halfway through the date?" That's not a pickup line. It's a personalized observation turned into playful tension. This is the mindset shift. Stop trying to invent. Start trying to notice. Women want to feel seen, not sold. And when you notice a detail and playfully amplify it, you make her feel seen in a way most men never manage. That alone builds connection. Next, lean into contrast. Flirtation thrives on opposites. If she's acting confident, tease her for being shy. If she's quiet, act like she's the loudest person in the room. You don't do this to mock her. You do it to create emotional variety. Contrast creates energy. Energy builds interest. Then there's timing. Don't force a flirt line into a quiet, serious moment. Wait until there's a natural smile, a laugh, a spark. That's your window. Good flirting isn't constant, it's rhythmic. Insert a line when she's most emotionally open, then pull back. Let her process. Let her feel. You also need permission to be wrong. Flirting isn't a performance, it's a conversation. Some lines won't land. That's okay. If you tease her and she doesn't react, you don't retreat. You smile, maybe say, "Too soon?" Noted. You stay playful, you keep the energy light. And by not getting flustered, you actually increase your attraction. One of the most powerful ways to come up with lines is by reversing expectations. If she says, "I'm a terrible cook," you might say, "Perfect. I've always wanted to be poisoned by someone I like." That line works because it's unexpected. It subverts logic and creates a moment she'll remember. You've taken something normal and made it yours. Also, flirt with assumptions, not questions. Instead of asking, "Do you like hiking?" say, "You look like someone who goes hiking just for the selfies." She'll either play along or push back, but either way, you've sparked a dynamic. And flirtation lives in dynamics, not facts. To train this skill, start practicing daily. Flirt with the world. If the barista gives you your coffee too fast, say, "Wow, you don't even let a man build anticipation?" If your friend is late, say, "You're clearly building suspense like it's a movie trailer." These aren't about being funny. They're about being alive in the conversation. And the more you do it, the faster your mind becomes. Eventually, you won't need to think about what to say. The moment will give you everything you need. Because you're tuned in, your eyes will catch a detail. Your mind will flip it. Your tone will carry it. And your confidence will make it land. Flirting isn't about being smooth. It's about being present, playful, and precise. When you stop memorizing and start observing, you unlock a flow that most men never reach. You become the guy who doesn't repeat lines because you're always creating new ones. And that kind of man? He doesn't just flirt well, he becomes flirtation. Number 4. Best flirting lines formats. The truth about flirtation is this: it's not about what you say, it's how you frame it. The difference between a boring statement and an irresistible flirt line is often just the format. Most men don't know how to structure their lines, so even when they say something interesting, it falls flat. Charismatic men, on the other hand, use patterns. They use formats that allow them to express playful, confident energy with minimal effort. These are not scripts. These are frameworks. They give your mind structure so you can create freely in the moment without overthinking. 1. You look like format. This is one of the most flexible, fast-acting flirt line formats you can use. The idea is to make a playful assumption based on how she looks, acts, or speaks. It puts her in a character or story, and that creates emotional spark instantly. Examples: you look like you've broken a few hearts this week. You look like you get kicked out of wine bars for debating too loudly. You look like you pretend to hate attention, but secretly love it. Why it works: it combines observation with teasing, and it's open-ended. It invites her to respond, correct you, or lean into the frame. It also shows that you're confident enough to make assumptions and charismatic enough to make them entertaining. 2. That was so format. This format is about amplifying a moment with playful exaggeration. Use it after she says or does something and twist it into a humorous overstatement. Examples: that was so evil, I'm rethinking this whole conversation. That was so slick, I almost didn't catch it. That was so dramatic, I feel like I need popcorn. Why it works: it creates rhythm. It rewards her for being expressive while also keeping the tone playful. It builds energy instead of letting the moment fade. 3. Wait, are you the type who format? This structure creates curiosity and challenge. It sets up a playful judgment or stereotype and gives her the chance to push back or play along. Examples: wait, are you the type who takes 43 selfies before choosing one? Are you the type who says, "I'm not crazy," right before proving otherwise? Wait, are you secretly the boss of all your friend groups? Why it works: this format flirts through framing. It's a mix of curiosity, teasing, and suggestion. It also builds emotional tension because it feels like a fun test. 4. If we were format. This one builds off future adventure projection from Chapter 4. It creates scenarios that are both fictional and emotionally compelling. Examples: if we were in a rom-com, this is where we'd pretend to hate each other before falling in love. If we were on a road trip, I already know you'd make me stop every 5 minutes for snacks. If we were partners in crime, I'd have to hide the evidence. You'd be too dramatic under pressure. Why it works: it bypasses logic and speaks directly to imagination. It's cinematic. Women love narrative, and this format puts her in one with you. 5. So you're saying format. This format is perfect for misinterpreting her words in a humorous or extreme way, creating playful tension. Examples: so you're saying you're basically a sushi snob? Wait, so you admit you're dangerous and I should be careful? So you're saying you'd totally lie your way out of trouble if it benefited you? Why it works: it lets you take what she says and spin it back with charm. It's low pressure and feels like a fun game of logic versus emotion. 6. Are you always like this? Format. This one subtly flirts by framing her behavior as a pattern you've just uncovered. It creates a soft challenge and signals deep attention. Examples: are you always this charming? Or am I just getting the VIP version today? Are you always this difficult? Or is it just for me? Are you always this dramatic? Or are we building trust? Why it works. It's a compliment wrapped in playful tension. It allows her to step into a role without making her feel judged. She can own it, deny it, or play back. The secret to these formats is that they aren't pickup lines. They're frames. Each one is a doorway into flirtation that keeps the energy elevated, the conversation playful, and the moment emotionally alive. And because they're rooted in real-time observation, they feel authentic. Start practicing these in low-stakes interactions. Don't wait for the right moment. The moment becomes right when you bring the energy. Use these formats to train your mind. Eventually, you won't even think in sentences. You'll think in rhythm, tone, and emotional color. That's what Playboys do. Not because they studied lines, but because they learned how to build experiences through structure. These formats give you the structure. Your awareness provides the content. And when they work together, you become unforgettable. Number 5. Exaggeration. Exaggeration is one of the most underused flirting tools and one of the most effective. When done right, it injects humor, playfulness, and surprise into the conversation without needing to be clever or rehearsed. It breaks expectations. It signals confidence. And it opens a space for shared laughter that builds instant chemistry. Most men think flirting needs to be logical, director, sensible. So they filter everything through what makes sense or what will she think. But women don't respond emotionally to logic. They respond to feeling. And exaggeration creates that feeling fast. It's not about lying or being absurd. It's about playfully stretching reality to highlight your tone and tease the situation. Let's say she tells you she's late because she was getting coffee. The average man says, "Oh, cool. What did you get?" The charismatic man smiles and says, "You made me wait while you went on a mission to find the world's most overpriced latte?" It's not harsh. It's not mean. It's exaggerated playfulness. And it instantly transforms a boring moment into something fun. Exaggeration works because it signals two things. First, that you're not taking things too seriously, and second, that you're quick-witted without trying too hard. It allows you to shift the emotional temperature in a moment. You're not reacting. You're reframing the conversation into something more alive. You can exaggerate a compliment too. Instead of saying, "You're cute," say, "That smile should come with a warning label. I bet you use it to get free drinks everywhere." Suddenly, the compliment becomes flirtation. It still communicates interest, but with a layer of humor and mystery. It also gives her something to respond to. It invites her into the frame rather than putting her on a pedestal. The key is tone. Exaggeration without tone can feel off or confusing, but when your voice is relaxed, your smile is subtle, and your body language is calm, it becomes irresistible. The woman knows you're teasing. She knows it's not serious, and that knowing is what makes it safe and exciting. Charismatic men use exaggeration to create light friction, to escalate attraction without being aggressive, to test the waters without being pushy. It's a form of emotional agility. You're stretching the moment, bending it slightly, turning the conversation into a game. It also builds rhythm. You can start slow and escalate. For example, if she tells you she likes dogs, you say, "Let me guess. You've got 5, and they all have matching sweaters, right?" She laughs. You follow up with something real. Then, a few minutes later, another exaggeration. That back and forth builds layers of interaction. She's no longer just answering questions. She's playing. When used sparingly and smoothly, exaggeration creates a tone where attraction grows naturally. You don't have to impress. You don't have to be outrageous. You just exaggerate reality slightly enough to keep it playful and fun. Practice this in your daily conversations. Take something she says, stretch it just a bit, and throw it back at her with a smirk. Notice how her energy changes, how her eyes light up, how the moment shifts from normal to unforgettable. Exaggeration isn't about acting. It's about adding color to your interaction. Most conversations are black and white. Exaggeration adds red, blue, gold. It makes you memorable. And most of all, it makes her feel something she rarely gets from men. A moment that's light, unpredictable, and exciting. When you master exaggeration, you gain the power to lift a conversation out of the ordinary and place it into the kind of emotional space where chemistry happens effortlessly. Number 6, future adventure projection. There's a reason charismatic men seem like they're from another world. When they speak, it's not just about now, it's about what could be. They paint pictures, they tell stories, they make a woman feel like being around them means stepping into something unpredictable and exciting. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through future adventure projection. This technique isn't manipulation, it's not false promises. It's a subtle, playful way of inserting her into a vision that feels fun, light, and emotionally rich. When you project a shared future, even jokingly, you bypass surface talk and plant your energy into her imagination. And once you're in her imagination, you become part of her internal story. Here's what this looks like. Let's say she tells you she loves sushi. You don't say, "We should get sushi sometime." That's flat. That's expected. Instead, say, "All right, I'm adding sushi taste tester to your new job title. We'll tour every sushi bar in Tokyo and argue over who's the pickier eater." You've now placed her in a story. She's laughing, visualizing, feeling something new. What makes this so powerful is that it's emotionally safe, but mentally exciting. You're not making commitments. You're not applying pressure. You're simply playing with possibility. You're saying, "If we kept talking, if we got along, if you passed my teasing, here's what our adventure might feel like." This is pure flirtation energy, emotion without obligation. You can project anything: a trip, a debate, a game. If she says she's competitive, say, "Remind me never to let you pick the board game on our epic cross-country road trip. I feel like you'd rig it." That one sentence does more than 100 compliments. It makes her feel something new. You and her in a scenario that doesn't exist yet, but suddenly feels real. It also frames the interaction as already dynamic. You're not just strangers. You're future adventure partners. And even though it's playful, the brain doesn't always separate imagination from reality. When you paint a vivid picture, you tap into her emotions in a way that logic never could. You become the guy who didn't just ask about her hobbies. You gave her a feeling she didn't expect. Women crave experience. They crave narrative. A man who can pull her out of the present moment and into a vision, even a silly one, is rare. Because most men are locked into facts. They ask questions, they gather data, but they never escalate the emotional state. Future adventure projection is how you escalate emotionally without ever touching her. It's how you become memorable without being intense. You create a sense of us without the heaviness of commitment. That balance is what women respond to most. Use this in light doses. Don't force it. Let the conversation give you the raw material. If she mentions she likes adventure, create a fake jungle expedition. If she says she's bad at cooking, tell her she's banned from the kitchen in your future beach house. Smile. Pause. Watch her eyes light up. That's the moment you move from guy she met to guy she can't stop thinking about. Most men are forgettable because they stay in the moment. But playboys? They move the moment forward. They don't ask, "What are you doing later?" They say, "When we inevitably get kicked out of that wine tasting for being too competitive, you better have a backup plan." That's story. That's emotion. That's the energy that lingers. So the next time you're in flow with a woman, don't just observe, create. Let your words invite her into something playful, shared, and unexpected. That's how you flirt like a man who doesn't just live in the now, but builds irresistible tension for the what if. Number 7. When to compliment, when to tease, and when to shut up. Flirting starts with balance, and that balance comes from knowing when to compliment, when to tease, and when to stay silent. Most men compliment too early or too often. They hope that by being nice, polite, or emotionally available, they'll create attraction. But the truth is, compliments without timing kill mystery. They're easy to give. They make you feel good, but they rarely leave a lasting impact. You don't compliment to win attention. You compliment when a woman has earned your attention. This small shift changes everything. If you compliment too early, you show that you're more focused on approval than observation. You're rewarding her before she's even done anything meaningful. A compliment should feel like a reward, not a request. Teasing, on the other hand, introduces play. It creates energy and tension. A light tease shows you're not intimidated by her. It says, "I see you, but I'm not trying to impress you." The key is subtlety. Don't insult, don't overdo it. Tease with warmth, not with sarcasm. For example, if she's being overly dramatic, you can say, "Wow, are you like this all the time? Or am I just the lucky one today?" It challenges her playfully while keeping the energy fun. Silence is your secret weapon. Most men fear pauses. They fill the space with nervous jokes, questions, or rambling stories. But a man who knows when to be quiet, who can let a moment breathe, shows strength. Women associate silence with confidence. If you can pause after she speaks, look her in the eye, and let her wonder what you're thinking, you create attraction without words. To flirt like a playboy, your energy has to say, "I'm enjoying this, but I'm not performing." Use compliments as highlights, not as headlines. Tease to create contrast, not control. And stay silent when the moment is strong enough to hold itself. This chapter is your foundation. Master this, and you already stand out from 90% of men. Every man wants to be unforgettable, but very few know how. Most try to impress. They chase, they perform. But the men who leave a lasting mark, the ones women remember, they flirt differently. They don't rely on pickup lines. They don't seek approval. They lead with presence. They build tension. They stay light, calm, and unpredictable. You've just learned the full framework, 8 tools that go beyond surface talk and into the art of real flirtation. Not just attraction, but the emotional game that makes you stand out. You now understand how to tease, how to observe, how to build inner jokes and future fantasies. And most of all, you've learned how to do it all without needing her to like you first. Because here's the truth. The man who flirts for his own enjoyment is the man who becomes impossible to ignore. If you made it to the end of this video, you're not average. You're part of the few who are willing to learn, to evolve, to sharpen your masculine presence. Drop a comment and write, "Unstoppable." So I know who you are, and so we keep building together. Support the channel. Every like, comment, and subscription helps bring this clarity to men who need it. By supporting this message, you're helping brothers around the world upgrade how they connect, flirt, and carry themselves. You're helping change lives. Hit subscribe. Turn on the bell. This is just one chapter in a much bigger story. Keep watching. Keep learning. Become unforgettable.